Hello, I'm living in their vlog video, but also video. Turn comments back on for the children's. Um, so like 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe got up an hour ago, had a bowl of tomato soup and a protein drink for breakfast, and I have a banana right there. So I'm not eating very much because I don't really have money, plus I don't have the time. Or the desire to eat. So last night I was working until some time. I think it was around midnight, and then I got up at like 8, so that's my 8 hours, midnight to 8. I'm not normally diurnalized like this. Tried to call my mom, she didn't answer. I should call now because it's like sunny. I'm gonna call after I do my video because I try to get her to go on a bike ride every day, and she always says no. So, but sometimes she says yes. I got a membership at the gym day before yesterday. I didn't work out there, and I was going to work out yesterday because right across the street, just to keep myself from dying. I need to stay alive because if I don't finish my website when it's at this point, it's just going to fizzle away because it's not finished enough. So, yeah, I think I also decided to quit smoking weed just to do my lungs some goodness. And plus, I feel really bad, toxic bad, and anything to help myself feel better. So I didn't smoke yesterday. Yesterday was my first day that I didn't smoke weed. Having an asthma attack right now. When I'm working, I lay in bed and I work, and then you work for an hour or half hour, I don't know, a couple hours, whatever. And then you're like, oh no, I can't do it anymore. So normally that's when I smoke weed. So from now on, that's when I'm going to get up and like clean. I cleaned my room for the first time last night. I vacuumed for like 6 months. It was pretty good. And then, what was I talking about? Yeah, so maybe I'll go today, but I didn't go to the gym yesterday because I was working the whole time. Because yesterday was the first day that I did new things on my website pertaining to the animal habitat, which I was wanting to do for a really long time. So I was just going through the motions, Yesterday, what I did was building habitat. Day before yesterday, I just did research. All I did was research. Like if I got to Badger, I would go on Google machine. Badger home range. Well, first I go like Badger KMZ, Badger home range. And then you just go down the line, like on the first page of the search. Every single mention of the Badger home range. Copy, paste. Each animal maybe like 5 times, or 3 different, and it's always different. So what I have to do is right click on the folder, description box area. I just paste all the information that I know about the animal. I also want to know what their daily 24-hour range is. And as I found last night, a daily 24-hour range, like that's home range. Like, because at the end of the day, I decided to do a home territory of a mountain lion. I only found one, and maybe if I look more, I could find another one, but I didn't look more. I found one, a old mountain lion walked 20 miles in a night. An old mountain lion has 50 square miles of terrain. Super young, hardcore single mountain lion would have 150 square miles of terrain. Old mountain lion walks 20 miles in a day. So I went to the 50-mile terrain, and I did a 20-mile loop around the thickness of the trees in that area, and it pretty much took up his whole terrain. So a mountain lion's like the way that animals live, because they do peeing and on the bark to mark their territory and stuff. Because it kind of drives it home more when you actually see it physically. Yeah, I mean, the mountain lion, like, that's his home. Like that 50 square mile territory area, like a couple of valleys worth, maybe 3 valleys worth in the mountains. that mountain lion knows that area like the back of his hand because he walks around the entire thing every day. And they stay to that area. Like that's the area that they know, and they don't leave it. So it's their home, like a house, big open area. Kind of like cats, your house cat. You know, your house cat has his territory, who walks around the house and comes home. But they don't like, go out and explore a new area like humans do. You know, and explore a new area and then come back. Oh, I went to that place a couple of years ago. Now they have their territory. Anyways, so what I did was I looked and I saw that there were 24 mountain lions. Somebody had a website. I think it was like a guide, an RMSC. I can't remember the name. RMDC or Rocky Mountain National Park. RMNP. They said that there were 24 mountain lions, and he's only saw 3 of them and 5,400 tours. So I guess I was like, all right, there's 24. Because I saw on this other site, like, a low of 20 to 30, but now there's 200. But there couldn't be anywhere near 200 in Rocky Mountain National Park. That's too many. They would overlap too much. But I think somebody said there was between 4 and 7,000 in the state, which has 57% habitable territory for mountain lions. So the density was kind of similar of overall state for the Rocky Mountain National Park. So yeah, 24. And they said that there's links there, so I'm gonna just guess there's like 3 links. Oh my God, I'm having trouble keeping my train of thought. So what I did was, I did all that information for all the animals I have. So then I was finally done. I was like, okay, let's do the actual thing. So I decided to do the first animal, the most interesting one, the mountain lion, and plus the easiest because there's only 23 in Rocky Mountain National Park. I'll do black bear next. Actually, I did start doing black bear last night because there's 40. I put 40. I'm gonna do it all in Rocky Mountain National Park because that's where all the stats are. I was originally going to do it in Boulder County, but Rocky Mountain National Park is right next to Boulder County, so I don't have to worry about it. 10% of Rocky Mountain National Park is in Boulder County, and that part of it comprises a 20th of Boulder County. One thing that I found out that's super duper interesting is, and thank Jesus, no, thank Teddy Roosevelt. Thank God that we have the national park. And you can tell on Google Earth because I was looking at Boulder County and I saw this one like valley in northwestern Boulder County where I could see that the trees were freaking black. The trees are black on Google Earth because they're so thick. And I'm like, wow, but then I found out that's the Rocky Mountain National Park. That's the reason it's black. And then I looked at the other forests in Rocky Mountain. They're all black. Like, you don't have to see the borders of Rocky Mountain National Park because you can see the borders of them because that's where the forest is black. Everywhere else outside of the Rocky Mountain National Park, like, if you look at Boulder County up in the mountains is like green, like a light green color. But 150 years ago, when the Indians were here, before white man came, all of Boulder County was black. Like the Rocky Mountain National Park. It was like the rainforest. It was just so many frickin' pine trees. You could hide your gold in there. And I was thinking like, there must have been just a gazillions of animals all over Boulder County, like right here. And also what they say in Boulder County is that all of the rivers were lined with gold, as well as these big golden like plumes of golden and silver of like just popping out of the earth in Boulder Canyon. And we don't have any photos of that, but that'd be really cool to look at. Like when the gold pans came, all they had to do is just like stick their tin thing in the river and that'd be their gold. Must have been beautiful. Anyway, and a lot of rivers were like that. Like when Columbus went to the Caribbean, their rivers were like freaking gold. Imagine how beautiful it must have been. Anyway, so what I did was, because I have the stats, now I'm going to go in, this is the interesting part. I did 24, and I did each mountain lion between 50 and 150 square meters, square miles. So then I did it every 5 square miles. So the first mountain lion was 50, and then 55 all the way up to 150. And then there were like 4 more I had to do. So I did like halfway, like 100, and then went 75, one at 125, one at 80, 85, one at 75. And I think that was it, So just spread them out evenly between 50 and 150. Just the 50 ones are the old and the young ones, and then the 150 ones would be, I guess, the ones in their prime or whatever, or the ones still looking to settle down or whatever. I did that because I wanted to know what it looked like, because a lot of them have to superimpose each other. A lot of these mountain lions, their territories overlap each other, which means what's that going to look like when you have all of those little polygons? I set it at 50% opacity with a border so that you can see the border, as their territories overlap. You can see this right now. Just go to my website. I'll put the link below. So, and that looks pretty good. Looks good enough. And then, but before that, I actually put the mountain lions, the little dot, and I numbered them, but I'll name them later. Just trying to spread them out throughout the forest, all 24 of them. And then what I did, the final step, was for the first mountain lion, I did that 20-mile course. So you can see they're roaming. And then, of course, I converted that into a movie. So you hit play and you can watch the 500 meters above Earth. And then with the you can see the line of his path below you. So so what I'm going to do is then I start doing black bears. But what I'm going to do later on is I'm going to make sure that the first animal it never overlaps with the first animal of any other species until I have the entire Rocky Mountain National Park with non-overlapping territories of different animals. And then I'll make that its own folder so that you can see all the animals, the animals themselves. But then if you want to see just the contrast, compare and contrast of the territory size and roaming size of different animals, you can just click on that folder and you can see them all next to each other. So that was an idea I came up with yesterday. Luckily, I came up with it because you can't come up with ideas like that after you build it. You have to come up with it before you build it. So what I'm going to do, I started with black bear. So that's why I didn't go to the gym yesterday, because I was just like, because I finished the day, I drew that line around for the lion, and then I started doing the black bear. I was just too interested in what I was doing because I've been thinking about it for so long, and it's going to be among the most interesting projects, I think, that you can do. There's one thing that I realized, a little insight that I came to as over the last couple of days as I'm building these animal habitats and looking at videos of the animals and stuff, and then comparing them with humans, you look at we always think about humans as having better lives than animals, but humans, a lot of humans have lives that are much, much worse than any animal, because you have this brain, you're supposed to exercise your brain and think, and if you don't use something that you should use, then that brings pain. And there's a lot of humans who live a much more pathetic life than any animal. Somebody who, like the minimum wage people, somebody gets up, they have to get up at 8, and then they have to take some bus all the way across town. There's a lot of people like this, or whatever, and then they have to go get some job, like at a fast food joint or whatever, and then they're working until 5 at night, and then they go home, and they never make any money. So that's all they do their whole life. They're just working. They go and they just stand and do the same thing. They just stand there. Can I take your order? Or whatever, over and over again. And some people do that their whole lives. Like, how could you say that person had a better life than a Tweety bird who was flying around? Because animals are smart. Like, there are lots, they live like us. They're smart and they adventure. And these animals are all over, having fun all over. Yet humans are supposed to be more advanced, are just sitting there. Just standing there, commuting, being slaves. So I think we kind of have slavery now. As long as you have to work this much, never make money, that's slavery. Because animals are smart. Like a beaver, which is a rodent, can remember a very complex maze for 90 days, for 3 months. Oh, no, I'm sorry. A porcupine can do that. But all those animals, I mean, beavers build houses, you know? And then all the hunting animals, all the strategy they use. Animals are smart. And you look at a mountain lion's face, they're very content with themselves and they're happy. So we're doing something very, very wrong with humanity if we allow a world where there's people, all these people, and they just, their whole lives are like about as boring as my leopard gecko. So anyways, those were the insights that I had after doing these mountains, these animals. And also, you know, habitat. If you want to save the environment, all you have to do is save the habitat, because all the animals live off of each other. You know, like if you were to put a bunch of plant a bunch of trees and bushes, and then transplant a bunch of rodents onto that area to eat those trees and bushes, then guess what? You could also transplant predators to eat those bunny rabbits and deer, and next thing you know, you've got a full-on ecosystem. And I don't think it's that hard. But you can't keep building roads and houses in the mountains. That's the one thing you can't do. So you have to learn how to build cities that can just accommodate large numbers of people. So big cities, I think, with skyscrapers. And then maybe even just giant skyscrapers, like kind of like in the Judge Dredd movie. Because that's how you protect the environment. Because that's how you make it so people aren't constantly, some rich piece of shit has to be a cowboy and like live in the woods like a fucking Jedediah Smith or something like that, you know, like, no, have the rich people live in the big ass building with everybody else. Give them a nice penthouse or something, but we have to stop building roads and houses in the trees, because we've done it enough. And there's lots of, you know, and there's a huge ecosystem, and we can't support a huge ecosystem from original times if we've made too many roads, because you know, you need lots of different felines, and then you just need lots and lots and lots and lots of it, lots of plants and animals and stuff, and it's not going to happen with roads and houses. So that's the other insight I had. I think visually, you can learn a lot visually when it comes to animals with Google Earth. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do now. I don't feel too bad now. I feel the best in the morning when I get up. And I also feel the best when I'm lying on my back. When I stand up, that's when I get in trouble. So I think I'm going to work, because I'm still enthralled with it. I'm doing the black bears, and then I'm going to do lynx, because there's only like a couple of lynx in there, and just go down the line on the interesting animals, and then hopefully maybe later on I'll be able to tow myself away and go to the gym, which is easy. I mean, working out at a huge gym with no lines for any of the machines is fucking so easy. Like, you can be totally sick and tired and hungry and go in the gym and have a great workout session, because you just explore the machines and you lift super weak, you know? Yeah, my ego, I'm old enough, whereas that when I go into the gym, I'm not going to try to like put the fucking curl machine on 90 pounds and do like 3 sets of 10, you know? That's, you know, because that's what I remember I was doing before. I don't have any desire to do that. So that's good. So I can just go in there and pull whatever I can do, and it's the same. Because I have to be super careful. I could injure myself super easily, because all of my tendons have basically melted away in my muscles. I got like a really bad injury this summer. And I could feel it for a long time. And I think even the other day I could feel it where my bicep connects with my forearm, you know, like right here, my tendon right at the end of my bicep. I tore the shit out of it this summer. we went on a bike ride with Kirsten, and I gave her my electric bike, but my electric bike has a Copenhagen wheel in the back. And we were going to ride our bikes up Linden. And we stopped at the red light. Only her bike was pointed towards the north. And I was like, no, we're going to the west. So I picked up the rear end of her bike to try to reposition it so it was pointing to the west. Just like you do, and the Copenhagen wheel doesn't weigh that much. It's only like 20 pounds or something, 25 pounds. It's like 15 or 20 pounds. It's not that heavy. And this is like a totally like fast, light road bike. So I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, just pick up the bike and replace it. So I grabbed onto the wheel and I picked up the bike and I replaced it. Only problem was when I picked up the bike, I could hear and feel all of my goddamn tendons in my arm tearing. Just like that. Before I even knew what happened. It all happened in a split second. And I didn't even pull that hard. Like my muscles didn't flex or anything. I just picked up the goddamn bike. Just, and I was like, all right, whatever. But then the next day it was super, super, super sore. It was super sore the whole time she was here. And then it was sore for months. I'm like, I flexed my right arm and I'm like, yeah, that feels normal. And then I moved my left arm. And then my right arm is like, oh shit, it's still sore. And now I have a sore shoulder. Like if I do like that, boom, it hurts right there. That angle right there. Right there, that angle. When I do that, it hurts inside my ball socket. So like I'm literally falling apart. Like my arm is falling out of my fucking socket. So, and I also injured myself. I tore the shit out of my arm the other day, like 5 years ago when I went in a gym and I tried to overhead press, like incline bench press, 135 pounds 10 times. And I even did it. There's no way in hell I could do that now. In fact, I can barely bench press 135 pounds 3 times. And if I were to try to bench press 135 pounds 5 times now, it would be stupid because I'd probably injure myself. So like I'm literally falling apart. So I was thinking to myself yesterday, maybe kind of I was like, oh, that's just hibernation mode. I'm in hibernation mode, like my body went into hibernation mode to like not have to eat as much food, and it's really not that bad. Overall, it's not all that bad. I mean, as long as I get back into it before I'm too old, but because you can build yourself back. But it becomes difficult to build yourself back if you've been injuring yourself while you're out of shape, because you get these tendon tears and they just stay. I have this, I sprained my left ankle when I was 20. And then I haven't been exercising recently, and now my ankle is sprained again. I'm walking with a fucking limp because I sprained my ankle when I was 20. I never thought that would happen. So, I definitely, that's why when I'm going to get back in shape, it's definitely a smart thing to take it easy, because my muscles are stronger. My muscles aren't strong, but my muscles are stronger than my tendons. So I have to remember that. Muscles are stronger than tendons. Muscles are stronger than tendons. Don't fuck around. So, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to call my mom, I think, earlier today. I call her now after the video. I'm going to go get on the computer and work a little bit as long as I can. And I wouldn't be totally, terribly surprised if I don't go to the gym. I have to work all day. But, as long as I'm working constantly, it's okay. It's when I stop working because I feel like shit physically and I'm just like laying there. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm like, and then I start watching stupid videos on my cell phone on YouTube just to pass the time or whatever, just like to rest because I need physical rest. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Just go to the goddamn gym. You're going to be more productive in the overall. So, yeah. But if I go to the gym, oh yeah, that's right. I'm quitting weed. Oh, dude. If I actually quit weed, everything's going to change. Everything. I become a different person. I'm a completely different person when I'm not smoking weed. I become a YouTube monster when I'm not smoking weed. I just want to talk. So I might start doing that. I might start fitting that in my schedule too. Just like a video a day on my main channel, like talking about something. So that'd be cool. Because my brain just kind of doesn't work well enough, like if I want to do a video about quantum mechanics, but I'm smoking weed all the time, like, it just wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. I wouldn't be able to do it. But I know that I can do it if I'm sober. But just the one thing I have to say about quantum mechanics is they say that everything in the universe is connected, and people are like, whatever. But no, but it is. It's clearly physically connected. If you go in space and you take off your spacesuit, you're going to get burnt to a crisp. Space is called space because it's black and it's filled with space. But that's to our mind, our brain, our eye that can only see stuff because it's beautiful that way. That's the best way for us to see it. But space is actually a microwave. It's this glowing, red hot, white hot fire that's just communicating everything in the universe, like, gravitation and the light waves and everything. And so that's the web. It's like a spider web. It's the whole universe connected. And so, yeah. So anyways, that's where I'm at right now. I haven't gotten to the point where I can explain time travel and time dilation, but I can't explain it in a way that I understand it myself. I'm only at the microwave space. So that's what I'm working on now, time dilation. So you just listen to the videos. God, I can't remember his goddamn name. Every time I look down, I'm like, oh, that's his name. That's his name. Remember his name. That's his name. That's his name. He's the science communicator, and he does presentations, and I like him, and he's good, and he interviews Sean Carroll with those other dudes. Can't remember his name. I'll look down and I'll read it. And then maybe I'll remember it tomorrow. But yeah, there's this one dude I watch the videos over and over again. But other ones like Arvin Ash has a good channel with visuals. Visuals are really good with learning quantum physics, but I can't do it really all the way that way because I'm working. So, and you can work and learn stuff at the same time. Like you can work thinking, like me. I'm here on the Google Earth and I'm like trying to figure out where I want to put the animal, where I want them to go, like if I'm going to do which one of these different scientific studies I'm going to choose to be appropriate for my animals because they're all a little bit different. All that kind of thinking. You can do that thinking while you're listening to an educational thing and not even paying attention to it, but still be learning from what you're listening to because the words are going in and like part of your brain is constantly going back. So, it only stops working when if you start making too many mistakes with your work, which I was doing, which I do from time to time because I pay attention too much to what I'm listening to. I find myself pasting the wrong thing or whatever, and sometimes I do it for a long time, and I'm like, oh my God, what have I been doing for the last 100 pastes? This was like 20 or 30 minutes, oh my God. But that doesn't happen that much. Actually, it happens all the time, but not at that scale. It happens all the time with like little things that I have to fix. So it's workable. So anyways, enough talking. I'm going to go and call my mom, and then I'm going to go and get going on these bears. And then I'm going to do links, and then just the easy ones with the not many. I think there's 350 longhorn sheep in Rocky Mountain National Park. So I still have to think if it's worth it to me to put in 350 individual dots representing sheep, and then am I going to name them? All that kind of stuff I have to figure out. I have to be reasonable because if I get out of control with this whole animal thing, I could get stuck with it for too long, and I can't get stuck with one page for too long, or else I'm never going to finish my website. So the idea is to be done with this whole animal thing within a week. Just get it done with. And then I can move back to the thing that I was trying to do before, which was the trains from the 1800s in Boulder County. And then, of course, I have to build up the town of Marshall so that I can then place the image of Marshall and then the other images of Boulder County and then identify all the images of Boulder County and then put them on my page. So, okay, so anyways, that's enough talking. Talk to you tomorrow. Ooh, under a half hour, all right.